Hello fellow YouTubers. Well, the regular viewers of the channel might be wondering exactly where I've been the past few days. The truth is I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins. Again. That was like the 5th time again. I know I'm probably obsessed and need help. But what do I do? The game is just so good. If you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is kind of the topic of the video today. Let me tell you exactly how this video came about. One of the regular viewers of the channel, Ranger Dash, wanted to see a video made on the topic which Assassin's Creed should you buy in 2022. Well, it has been 15 years since this game franchise kicked off. And also it's my first video request, so how can I say no? So here I am and here we go. A decade and a half, that's how long this series has been going on for. But let's be honest, most of us didn't expect this franchise to last this long in the first place. And also the way the game has developed and taken such a strange direction, none of us saw this coming really. But still, in its long and fruitful run, this game franchise has given us some absolute diamonds. There are a few chosen games in the franchise that you could buy and play even now, and it would still blow your minds. And also there are some that you would play and absolutely detest. So that's the flip side. So which ones are worth buying and which ones are not? Let's find out now. Now before we delve deep into the video, let me tell you exactly what I am basing my conclusions on. Contrary to the popular belief of the new generation fans of Assassin's Creed, these games are not just about the visuals or the gameplay. There is so much more to them. The story, the characters, the dissection of human nature, and the fight of good and evil. There are so many dimensions, layers, and sides to these games that even to this day some of the long-time fans of the franchise are stunned as to how thought-provoking these games are. So I'm gonna take all the aforementioned aspects into account and then come to conclusions as to which game is really worth it and which game is not. Let's get into the video now. Number 12, Assassin's Creed 1. A game that has not aged well. It's legendary, yes. It's a classic, it's a vintage, yes. It is all of that. But can you really buy it in 2022 and actually enjoy it? Well, you just can't. If you're a fan of Altair or Assassin's Creed 1, you might really be pissed off hearing that. But ask yourself, what does this game have to offer in 2022? The graphics when compared to the newer entries just could not hold a candle. The story is good, yes, but how good is it really? The voice acting is decent, the gameplay, well, average at best. And when you take the whole package into account, Assassin's Creed 1 just does not hold up. It is unfortunate, yes, but it is a fact and it cannot be overlooked. Next, number 11, Assassin's Creed Rogue. The potential that this game had and the potential that this game tapped into, well, they are just two completely different things. This game was never fully realized. And if you're planning to purchase Assassin's Creed Rogue in 2022, well, just don't. Save your money, invest it in a better game. Because I assure you, you will be wasting it. Shay Patrick is a really complex and layered character that never stood a chance in the first place. If you're making a game that's maybe 6 or 7 hours long and you expect the players to cough up $20 for that in this day, well, you know what, it's just not worth it. You can get a much better value for money for many of the other Assassin's Creed games. So why would you choose to buy this? Well, unless you're a new Assassin's Creed fan and want to experience every single game in the franchise, or you're a long time fan and just want to play this game for nostalgia, these would be the only two explanations as to why you would spend $20 on this game. It's just not worth it, and in 2022 it just cannot compete with the other games. The game looks really good, I agree, but we got a much better package in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so why would you buy Rogue? Next, number 10, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. If you're a person who does not take gaming seriously and does not care about character development, storylines, and in general making sense, well, this game's tailor-made for you because this game is the gaming industry's equivalent of the recent Fast and Furious movie. It doesn't make sense, it's full of cliches. Family. Well, there's that as well. $20 for this game in 2022, especially when there are so many better games in this franchise itself. Well, you can do it realistically. But you know what? You can also jump off of an airplane without a parachute. Not a really good idea, but you can do it because this game is just so full of cliches, poor writing, and extremely cringy execution. It might pique your interest in the first few hours, but as and when the game progresses, you'll see exactly what it is. A mindless action-adventure game which will definitely leave a lot to be desired. Next, number 9, Assassin's Creed Revelations. This game probably had the highest expectations from players of any Assassin's Creed game before its release. And after it released, people were stunned as to how underwhelming it was. The critics called it average at best. The players recognized it to be a pretty good ending for Ezio. But when you take the whole game into account, it's just not a good one. And add to those facts, if you've not played Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, Revelations really won't have much of an impact on you. It's a part of a trilogy. It's really like watching the last Lord of the Rings movie without watching the first two. You really won't connect in any way. So buying this game in 2022, well, not a good idea. Although this too costs $20, if you have a little more money to spend, you should probably spend $40 and buy the entire Ezio collection that's about to release. And then and only then you can really experience the best parts of this game, because otherwise it'll simply be a waste of your money and your time. Next, number 8, Assassin's Creed Unity. It really took me a long time deciding upon whether to put Assassin's Creed Unity on the 9th spot or Revelations, but the reason that Unity is a little bit better than Assassin's Creed Revelation, especially 2022, is because of its vastly improved gameplay and graphics. And when you consider the fact that Assassin's Creed Revelations was just a part of the bigger picture and really didn't have much to offer as a standalone, you realize that you're much better off buying Assassin's Creed Unity in 2022. If you're gonna spend $20 on this game, trust me, it's actually pretty good value for the money. The game is a little weak, and Ubisoft claims to have fixed all the bugs, although I don't believe it. If you're a history buff and want to get a real-time feel of how it felt back in the day, this game is perfect for you. The story is meh, the voice acting decent at best, the protagonist, well, he's there. The antagonist, well, he's also there. But the 1700s Paris, the French Revolution, and the downright mesmerizing gameplay will definitely get you hooked to this game. These three aspects are so superior to many of the games in the series that they will definitely justify your $20 investment. If you can afford to buy it, you definitely should. You will be disappointed, I guarantee that. But I can assure you that when you're done with it, it'll leave you with the experience of a lifetime. Next, number 7, Assassin's Creed 2. This game released in 2009, and despite being 13 years old, it's one of those games if you haven't experienced it, you're not a real Assassin's Creed fan. Well, that's what most long-term players say anyways. This is the OG Assassin's Creed game, no doubt about it. If you really want to get an immersive and outright emotional experience of what it means to be an assassin, this game's just for you. Well, it's not one of the best games ever made for no reason. You know, this game has really stood the test of time because many of the elements of this game are still used to this day, and if that's not an achievement, I don't know what is. As I told you before, you'd be better off buying the entire Ezio collection for $40. But if you want to experience the best parts of the Ezio trilogy, you should really toss a coin between Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. And no matter which game you decide to buy amongst these two, definitely gonna tell yourself that it was money well spent. Next, number 6, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Some of you might be shocked exactly why it's so low, and at the same time some of you might be shocked exactly why it's so high. Let me explain it. This game costs between $50 to $120. Now that's a lot of money we're talking about here, especially when you consider the fact that this game is not an Assassin's Creed game to begin with. Well, no matter what you think, it's really not. That's the fact. And at the same time, this game is a visual and gameplay achievement. Trust me, it really is. You will be blown away as to how beautiful it looks and how perfect it feels when you play it. It's so immersive and mesmerizing in that regard. You will feel like spending $50 was not a bad decision in any way. And this is exactly what the creators are doing as of late. They're making games that are so far away from what the Assassin's Creed essence really is. And yet these same games look and feel so darn amazing that most of the players are ready to ignore the bigger picture. And when you just look at this as a game, it's just an RPG game and nothing else, it'll actually be worth it to spend $50 to $120 on this particular game. Me as a fan, I would not recommend it. But if you take the experience into account, my goodness, is it an absolutely astonishing one or what? Next, number 5, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Remember the coin toss between Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood? Well, I know which one I'm gonna choose. Almost every aspect of Assassin's Creed 2 has been bettered in this game. Can you believe that? The visuals, the character designs, the voice acting, the music, the storylines, the missions, gameplay, combat, navigation, everything. Well, maybe not everything, because I've seen some people who prefer Assassin's Creed 2 story over Brotherhoods. And if you ask me, it's a topic for another time. But in my opinion, if you're spending $20 on this game, it'll be one of the best decisions ever. You'll get to experience a world that's just so engrossing. It'll suck you right in like a black hole. I felt this, I felt being so lost in the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's world. You'll really start believing you lived in Rome during the 16th century. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is really a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, and the fans old and new will agree with me when I say that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is one of the best. It really is the golden age of Assassin's Creed, and this was the pinnacle of the Ezio era, an era that's considered by many to be the greatest. Next, number 4, Assassin's Creed 3. Some of you might be shocked, some of you might not. But regardless of that, just hear me out. Well, the negatives of this game, they exist. Definitely they do. But the positives outweigh the negatives in such an unbelievable fashion, you will really be stunned. First and foremost, this game is so easy to look at. And as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's still actually really good. That's actually surprising to me. I played this game not more than 2 months ago, and I came to realize that this game still holds up. Trust me, it does. Because not only is it amazing visually, the storylines and the missions are one of the best in the entire franchise. You really get to experience the American Revolution firsthand. Now, can you believe that? Although the game starts off really slow and the actual protagonist isn't introduced until a few hours into the game, the wait will definitely be worth it. And I was kind of shocked to see that the remastered version of Assassin's Creed 3 is selling at $40 a piece. Now that's a rather hefty price tag for a game that's almost a decade old. But you know what, those $40 are actually worth it. I've said this in many videos before, Assassin's Creed 3 is my favorite Assassin's Creed game because when you play it, you feel a sort of a connection to not just the character that you're playing as, but also the world around you. This was really an incomplete masterpiece, and despite being incomplete, it'll really give you a journey that'll be more than satisfying. If you have a budget of around $40, this would be the game to buy. Next, number 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's shocking, isn't it? A game that is roughly released over 18 months ago is at the 3rd spot. But is this rank justified? In my mind, it really is. I'll tell you why. You know, Valhalla is one of those games that is really good to play, just like Odyssey. But if you're looking for an Assassin's Creed experience and are willing to pay big bucks, $120 price tag, it is simply not worth it. At least not up to the degree of the 2nd and the 1st spot. It's a great game, trust me, it really is. I'm not suggesting it's bad in any way, but if you're paying $120, you do not even get to experience the world of the assassins, that in my mind is just unfair. The story of Ivor is great. Visuals, my goodness, it's just a treat to look at. The gameplay is smooth, stunning, beautiful. As a standalone game, it's just great, but the biggest problem is it's not part of the pack. It really isn't. It doesn't add any value to the Assassin's Creed series. The real-time story is progressed just a little bit, and except for that, there's nothing else that this game has to offer to the Assassin's Creed franchise. With that being said, if you're looking for some bloody violent action in an insanely big and beautiful map, this game is just for you. There are boss fights beyond belief, visuals that will really make you stare into the screen, and gameplay that will keep you hooked. This game has bloody everything except for the most important piece. That's exactly why it sits at the number 3 spot. Next, number 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. In my estimation, charging $20 for this game is just criminal. If anything, they should charge more. It's definitely rare to see these many aspects come so seamlessly together. It's really insane. It is literally the quintessential pirate experience. I won't say it's the best Assassin's Creed experience, although the storyline of the assassins in this game is solid and it adds a lot to the overall series. The actual assassin stuff in this game is just a backdrop to the amazing naval experience. You play this game and I assure you, you will feel like you were a sailor in another lifetime. The experience is so immersive and engrossing, it'll really suck you into the game. Well, Edward Kenway's life, if nothing else, was adventurous, and this game makes sure that you are a part of that adventure. How many games can do that? Not a lot really. And not only the value for money is extremely high, many consider this game to be the best Assassin's Creed game in the entire franchise. And if you know anything about this franchise and know how many heavy hitters there are, that's a big statement to give out by that many people. So if you have $20 to spend, go buy this game and play it. You can come back and thank me later. And now number 1, Assassin's Creed Origins. This game right now costs about $50 to $100. But once you buy it, you'll literally be looking for an excuse to install this game and play it. Trust me, it really is that addictive. This game is so unbelievably good that it's not just the main game that'll keep you hooked. Even the DLC content is just so mind-blowing. If you've played Curse of the Pharaohs, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if you've not played it, well then you definitely need to. It's a magical experience. The visuals, the gameplay, the challenges, the boss fights, everything you experience in not just the main game but the DLCs and in the side missions, it's simply mind-boggling. You know, realistically, Assassin's Creed Origins is as close to perfection as Ubisoft could ever get. It simply cannot get better. And this game is aging as fine wine, especially when you consider the mediocre content that came afterwards. They're really making a reputation for this game as and when time passes. Even to this day, many people think this was the pinnacle of the Assassin's Creed games and it'll never get better. I'm actually one of those people. If you go look up in the Oxford Dictionary, the synonym of money well spent is also Assassin's Creed Origins. Except for the parkour and a couple of other aspects from the storyline, this game got everything right, like everything else. They got like 990 things right out of 1,000. How many games can say that? And even visually, this game is literally the best in the entire series. If you have the hardware to take it, this game will give you an experience that's not just breathtaking visually, but also so satisfying and emotionally moving. It's the whole package. And as far as the question which Assassin's Creed game you should buy in 2022 goes, Assassin's Creed Origins is the answer. If you want to spend $100 and not regret it, this is how you do it. And with that, we end this video, guys. You know what? I'd want to know which Assassin's Creed game you have not played and which one you have on your bucket list. If you like the video, please hit the like button. It really helps and it's free. And also, if you have the time, please visit the channel. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed content right there. And if you visit the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And that's all for today, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. It's your boy VZX signing out.